All right, I'm doing some warm up before the tournament and play some Tour 7. Just try and get into a little bit of a perfect rhythm before I jump out on the course. Going to the range for a little bit. Take out a marlin just so I can not waste any balls while I'm down here. And like 3 rings great to the right. On the blue, see if I can make it over the sand. I did. It's good to know your rock can make it over. That means with a bigger power ball, in the past I've had to do this with a extra mile, but you can get down in that hole if you bring a big enough power ball and the wind's blowing pretty much like this. You can get down in this hole so that you can take a extra mile without using any overpower. But if you can get that rock down in there with a bigger ball and you got a 100% accurate club, it's a pretty narrow spot for the landing zone down here. We're playing in the Pacific Cup tournament right now, and the first hole is Juniper Point, hole number 8, and it plays like this. There's a spot, and if you hit that spot, you're on the green making a putt. If you don't hit that spot, you're in the sand of the rough. And there is a slope here, so it slopes down. So the ball, as it slows down, it wants to fall to the right. So there's about 4, about 7. I go about 8, about 2 cups off. Hitting it perfect. See if I got my wind, right. So I started off just a little bit on the edge of the cup, so it fell about a half a cup. Those short end shots from the rough and the sand are absolutely makeable if you hit perfect. The wind adjustments down there are pretty easy to make. Good game. Good game. Getting into a rhythm. Let's see if they'll rematch. Come on, dude. Don't make me have to go all the way back to the beginning screen. Come on, man. And we don't want to play the tournament yet. A couple more practice rounds. Just get into it. I'm gonna bring out some of the big clubs and do. I'm hoping there's one of the holes that's in the tournament that's in here. During the tournament, we hit, which hole is that? It's hole number 6, maybe? Hole number 2 of the Pacific Cup, where we hit to the right in order to try and give ourselves a shot for an Albie, but during one-on-one play, I always play it to the left. That whole thing out there to the left is shots that are like blind, super curl shots, and most people don't like going that way because of those trees on the other end, but you can walk yourself right around those trees. What it takes is backspin. When you're trying to walk around those trees, you always want to be able to engage backspin when you're going around trees, because it'll make you even go more. Because you got so much curl on there that when the ball finally touches the ground and the backspin starts to play a factor into it, it jerks the ball. So like if you're trying to curl it around to the right, it'll jerk the ball really hard to the right. I don't need any kind of special stuff here. Give myself tons of room. If I can, I always adjust the wind out for the drives. There's 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. Straightforward. Hitting it 17 rings great to the right. When you come out to a hole like this and you bring a 100% accurate club, it doesn't matter on the drive. That might be part of my problem on some of the times when I have to hit the extra mile perfect. There's shots where you have to hit it perfect. I'm a little nonchalant on that because I hit with a 100% accurate driver a lot. QB or rock. I play with my QB all the time, but once I got my rock up to level 8, it's pretty much dominated the bag. There's certain clubs when you get them to a certain level, like when you get your Apocalypse 4, when you get an Apocalypse 4, there is a big decision on whether or not you're going to use the Apocalypse 4 or you're going to play with the extra mile. I think in the community, when you go out there, people are like, man, he's playing down a rookie and he's got an Apocalypse 4. Hey, forget about all that stuff. Play whichever club works the best for, in your one-on-one game. So, having an extra mile bag and having an Apocalypse bag, because there's holes that you'll go, man, I wish I had a little bit more curl. You've got that Apocalypse. This is one of those holes where if you're in the spot, you're in the spot. 1-7. There's 2. There's 1-5. There's about 1-7. Hitting it perfect. Hitting it perfect. See if we can get in the cup. Now that's got the graphics that it's going to go in the cup. Albatross. Game. I'll be. Get in the hole. See if they'll rematch. Get some bonus action here. Come on. Come on, dude. Come on, man. Don't make me waste my time. I could have went back to the screen by now. Come on, dude. Are you playing? Or are you cooking? I don't understand why when you hit that share, you can't post to the clan. It brings up the... I want you to do the whole online share. Play one more. One more. Let's go out and fill my chest up. Here we go. I like this hole. All right, so we're going to go all the way over. I want to be 3 rings off at the red line. We're going to put all this on the ball. Wind's going in that direction. So there's 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to leave a little bit of that wind in just to help push me forward because I got lots of room up there. And I hit it like 2 rings great on the inside. That's why I left that 3 rings of distance. Just a little bit too much. When you're walking around those trees like that, don't worry about your ball guide. So I could have put that, if these trees were sticking out a little bit more, like I could get the distance, I could care less about my ball guide. My ball guide is only giving me the straight line to the spot out here where the ball is going to hit. And so I know going in that that's a max curl shot. So I'm not going in that straight line. I'm coming at it around the trees. I'm going around them. And so I want to get out there. I want to pinch myself enough that I have a headwind. I'll always leave myself enough room to pull the wind out. And then I'll put just a little teeny bit of overpower on it. And you can get up there where my opponent's at. I got a hold of that sucker. Now, if you have a bigger ball and you get into that rough, it's not a big deal because you can get on from there. So there's 2, 4, 5. So it's going to move me forward that much. And in order to get over to that other side over there, I would have to put some overpower on it. And I'm going to put some overpower on it. So the wind's going to push me this way. I've got everything on it. Hit it great to the right. And if I was going to hit it great one way or the other, right is the better side. Not quite enough to get it to bounce on that rough right there to get over. I gave myself a look at it. That's as far as up there as I could get, but I was actually trying to see if I could get a bounce up towards the top of this bump to see if I could dribble onto the fringe. Not quite enough overpower. You can do some of those overpower shots. If you go max overpower, the needle is going about 1 billion miles a minute. But if you go to max and then start pulling it forward, there's a level there where you can have quite a bit of overpower on it. And the needle's not really going that much faster. And there's a spot where you can do overpower where you're pulling down against the nubs where you can be into power. You can see that you're in the power, but it's not making the needle go any faster. There's different spots on that. See if my opponent can make that bridge that gap. That's what I was trying to do, was to try and get a hop skip to get over. More than likely, I would have ended up getting caught in the rough just like my opponent. But at that point, I was in trouble. Most people have a problem with the second shot here. The second shot's a difficult shot to get in. 2-9 from this distance. I'm going to hedge my bets and go right on the edge of the cup. Hitting it perfect. In the cup. Getting my eagle. It's a hard hole to eagle. I've hit about, I think I've hit 1 albatross on this hole. And I hit it in a tournament. And it helped me big time. I saw Zachary Jones win a tournament one time. He got to this hole and if he could get an albie on this hole, he could win. If he got an eagle, he would come in second. And he came here and he got way out in front and did a dunk because that was the only viable shot that he had that could make it. So he did a dunk on it and hit the dunk and won a tournament on a dunk. It was impressive. I've been out there in that spot and you can hit dunks from out there, and I practice dunks all the time, but it is super dangerous. All right, I think I got enough practice in. Now I'm going to jump out and play the Pacific Cup and see how it goes. All right, I will see you there. Thanks for watching.